Australia's beef production reached a record high in 2024, pushing exports to new heights and reshaping the global market landscape. I'm Johanna Bota, and joining me to break down what's behind this and what it means going forward is StoneX's livestock and commodity broker, Ripley Atkinson. Good evening to you, Ripley, over in Sydney. Can you start by telling us what you do at StoneX?
So my role at StoneX as the livestock and commodities broker is to provide a really high touch service, very personalised to the Australian livestock industry. And what that involves is our OTC offering of a feeder cattle swap, and with that alongside it, we've got the StoneX Australian Cattle and Beef Market Report podcast, which comes out on a fortnightly basis. So I engage with producers, feedlotters, and processors and help the sector manage market and price volatility with my high touch personalised service.
Now, as I mentioned in the intro, beef production in Australia hit a record high in 2024. Can you tell us what's behind the boost?
It did, yes. So Australia's beef landscape in terms of our production volumes has changed quite significantly in the last 2 years. We've moved from a period with low supply to a period of high supply. And as a result of that and an increase in numbers, Australia produced a record amount of beef in 2024, over 2.5 million metric tonnes. As a result of that, because we're a net exporting nation of red meat and beef specifically, we exported beef last year to over 100 countries, and we also broke records in terms of our beef exports. What that meant was we moved from lower down the list to then become the second largest exporting nation in the world.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there are about 40.5 million head of cattle for a population of about 26, 27 million. That's a lot of beef per person. Now, I know that Aussies love their Barbies, but surely most of that is heading overseas, like you just said, right?
Yeah, that's right. And we do love our Barbies and we love our beef. So as Australians, we are one of the larger or the top 10 largest consumers of beef per capita in the world. But because we produce so much, we can feed 3 times the amount of people that are actually in the country. And as a result, 70 to 80% of our total beef production per annum goes overseas. As I mentioned, to over 100 countries, but we have 4 main markets. They are the US, uh, South Korea, Japan, and China. They account for about 70 to 80% of our total beef exports. The remaining 20% of our export production goes to an array of other places: Taiwan, the United Arab Emirates, the United Kingdom, Indonesia, and a number of other places.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned the US because they're on a different cycle, and that's actually what I want to talk to you about, which is the cattle cycle that you're in now, because Australia is at a different stage of the cycle compared to other beef producing countries. So can you explain how and why that matters?
It's a really interesting dynamic, the relationship between Australia's cattle production and America. The reason why is because we're two of the largest exporters in the world. And what generally happens with the way the weather patterns work across the Pacific Ocean between the west coast of the US and the east coast of Australia, they fluctuate and they're opposite. So when the United States, like it is at the minute, is reducing its cattle numbers because of dry conditions, Australia's numbers are actually increasing. And what that means is it puts Australia in a very unique position whereby our key competitor, being the United States, has reduced beef production and in turn exports, where we can then fill that gap and provide the difference which the United States can't. And that makes Australia very unique in relation to Brazil and America in the global beef exporting landscape.
I see. Well, Ripley, thank you so much for staying up late to talk to us. And thank you for watching. For more financial content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.